Paw Patrol is a juggernaut of a show that's been dominating TV screens for the last 9 years, and the theories about those cute pups tend to be anything but sweet and adorable, ranging from Adventure Bay being an active war zone, to the dogs being humans forced to submit to an evil overlord, and more. I'm ready to ruin some happy memories, so let's get into it. Let's start with one that's short and sweet. Dogs apparently took over the planet a millennia ago. Ryder isn't actually their leader, but a go-between, a pet in his own right, maintaining a delicate power balance between the sedated public and their covert but ruthless puppy overlords. At least the overlords seem kinda sweet. Paw Patrol Forever on Wattpad has this next theory, and it's kinda wild. Folks believe the pups are humans because, well, they can talk. Other animal characters like Callie can't, Chickaletta can't, Patina can't, the Kitten Catastrophe crew can't, and so forth and so on. Another point they have is that, well, all the pups are allowed into Mr. Porter's cafe, and other animals are not. The pups can drive vehicles, normal animals can't, so either the pups have human souls inside of their pup bodies, or apparently Ryder feeds human pup treats that makes them turn into pups, and him continuously feeding them pup treats maintains them as pups. Now, before anybody dismisses that theory, there's actually proof from the show to back this one up, and I can validate this. I watched the show. In the episode Pups Saving Mer Pup, Rubble asks Ryder if he wants to try a liver roasted sausage like all the dogs are eating, and Ryder jokes back that he likes his without liver. And Ryder was the one who prepared all the food and dished it out. Captain Turbot had a liver sausage, and Zuma told him not to eat too many or he'll turn into a pup. Kinda sus. Redditor Achilles BAC believes Adventure Bay, where everyone lives, is an active war zone. Why? Well, let's see. There are no parents around because all able-bodied, non-essential adults have been drafted to the war, leaving a bumble-headed mayor, a rhyming sea captain, a grandpa. You get the idea. So, Ryder's parents? Well, they left to build advanced technology, leaving Ryder with the skills, cash, and the means to build all his own tech. So this is how Ryder can build the pup packs, and why he's always working on his team. Being leaders in advanced tech, Ryder's parents built robotic emergency services dogs to keep Adventure Bay safe, while the real emergency service members are supporting, well, the ongoing turmoil. This is why the pups need to be ordered to do the simplest tasks by Ryder. Marshall, for example. Marshall, use your ladder to get the cat off the roof. Very explicit. And this also explains why the pups are the only animals that can talk. Many of the other animals are beta tests of the pups. Chickaletta was the first, with very limited abilities, only slightly more advanced than a regular chicken. Mayor Humdinger's cats were the final prototypes. They don't yet have the ability to speak, but they clearly understand English and have basic versions of the pup's first abilities. Whereas Robo-Dog is Ryder's first attempt to replicate his parents' successes. And then you look at Tracker, Everest, Sweetie, Arby. They're post-Paw Patrol prototypes. Arby was a failed experiment in AI ethics. He can operate somewhat independently, but he was designed to bond to a human leader. So he ended up bonding with a rebel militiaman, who led him into his pirate ways. Next we've got Sweetie. She was also designed to bond with a moral human, and intentionally given by her creators to royalty because they wanted her to learn from them. Sweetie is also quite capable of operating independent of her human masters. However, her AI does not yet have the most advanced moral guidelines that the designers were aiming for. She realizes she is an advanced autonomous being, and she's striving to gain power over the human race. Captain Turbot, former Navy codebreaker. Why? He can speak multiple languages and pick up new languages very quickly. So he was a linguist and a codebreaker for the military, before being honorably discharged when PTSD became evident. Let's look at Rubble. His many crazy dreams are actually training simulations, controlled by Ryder, that all the pups experience. Why? Well, this is a great way to train the pups without putting the technology in harm's way. Look, everything adds up to me. It's gotta add up to you too. Next up, so we learn early on that the Paw Patrol are some sort of genetic anomaly. They have been specially granted their human-like intelligence and talent for speech over other animals. So by extension, one can believe that they were given their jobs in the public works by an unseen benefactor, who hired them based on their special abilities. So then, this whole TV show is a story of rule by the genetically superior. It's an elitist fantasy where the superior beings are granted control of all public systems. Whoever the Paw Patrol's mysterious benefactor is, they clearly have world domination in mind. This is illustrated by the behavior of Mayor Humdinger, who, if I haven't mentioned already, he's the show's kind of main villain. He's the mayor of nearby Foggy Bottom, but he spends most of his time in Adventure Bay seeking to discredit the town. The mayor wants to rob Adventure Bay of civic prizes and rewards. He resents the success of the Paw Patrol and seeks to outstrip their shiny public image with his own team of trained animals. So why does Mayor Humdinger go to such lengths to discredit Adventure Bay and the Paw Patrol? Well, Adventure Bay is the only city we know of to have a Paw Patrol. Foggy Bottom's only got these weird cats that Humdinger trained himself. So we can infer that Adventure Bay was specially selected to be ground zero for this whole experiment. And Mayor Humdinger is not just envious that Adventure Bay has the patrol, but that they're the only place in the area that seems to be receiving any sort of government grant money, which I'm assuming he wants for his town. And finally for today, courtesy of Mr. David UK on Reddit, we have an alien tech theory. So apparently 10,000 years ago, aliens visited Earth and left behind some alien tech in an area that would one day become Adventure Bay. Flash forward about 500 years before the series starts, Albert Grover, a brilliant but eccentric genius, finds the alien tech and builds a small town of Adventure Bay, makes himself mayor and protector of the town. So you get a couple of folks that settle in. Fearing he will never have descendants to carry on his legacy, Grover uses the alien tech to build a robot descendant and calls him Ryder. As the years go on, Grover continues his experiments and starts a project to see if he can create intelligence in animals. And he selects 9 young puppies for the experiment. And hey, it's successful. The puppies begin to show signs of human behavior. I'm talking speaking, being able to communicate. But then tragedy hits. A fire breaks out in the lab, the puppies escape, 5 are recaptured, and 4 get away. Ryder is given the title of Town Protector, and along with his puppies, they put up a strict police force, including building a lookout center to watch the town and also creating a giant telescope. Why? Well, then you can see anybody in Adventure Bay at any time. What about those 4 puppies? Well, they wander the world. One ends up in the city of Barkingburg, one in the jungle, one in the Arctic, and the other one is kinda near Adventure Bay, but on his own. Grover ends up having a natural descendant with his wife to continue his lineage, but keeps Ryder in charge of the secret police force. When his son takes over the family legacy, he tried to create merpups, but then that experiment was a failure and they abandoned it in the water. More Grover generations come and go, and Adventure Bay turns into a police-run state controlled by the Grover dynasty. People pay large amounts of taxes, and a lot of this money goes to Ryder and his secret police force. What isn't spent? They use it in the future. So then we get to Grover the Fourth. He tries to mimic his grandfather's experiments, but he's unsuccessful and results in a radiation spill in the town, and that makes everybody sterile, unable to conceive. Then you've got this Goodway family. They live in Adventure Bay, and they're a little tired of the state-run town and begin to plan a rebellion. So one night, the Goodways, along with some friends, storm the home of Grover the Fourth, banish Grover to the outskirts of the town, which is that Foggy Bottom area. The Goodways then storm the lookout where Ryder and his police dogs reside. The pups try to defend the lookout and Ryder, but the people overpower them. In a struggle, Marshall is bopped on the head, and then from that point on, suffers from balance issues. Ryder and the pups are captured, but folks don't want to put them down. So instead, Ryder is reprogrammed to think he is a real young person. The pups are given the role of Paw Patrol to carry out mundane tasks around the town, and over time become the emergency services for the area. The Goodways install themselves as the new mayor and proclaim that Adventure Bay is now free, and also cover up any information about the past experiments and what the Grovers did. The date is forever remembered as Grover Day and is celebrated every year. And then you've got that statue of the original Grover to keep everybody happy. Grover the Fourth sets up the neighboring town, Foggy Bottom, and has a descendant, and he wants to retake the town one day. But then as generations go on, this is forgotten. Since the people of Adventure Bay are unable to have offspring, they adopt from outside the town. The new citizens are usually nieces, nephews, grandchildren. The new citizens are usually nieces, nephews, etc. Ergo, no parents. Present-day Ryder, not knowing his true origins, continues to protect the town with his Paw Patrol. However, some of his original programming can still be accessed. That allows Ryder to build things like Air Patroller, Robo-Dog. So then, those mystery dogs that ran away? Well, then you've got Rubble. You find him outside of Adventure Bay, he comes in. Then you find Everest in the Arctic, Track in the jungle, Sweetie in Barkingburg. It all adds up. And that's it for me once again, folks. I've been Alexa, your resident ookie spooky girly. See y'all next time, you lovely spooky people.